Welcome back to Still Eligible Podcast number 7. We are here in Kansas City, a new look. We've got one more person with us, David Sosna in the house.
Hey, guys.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, appreciate you.
We're going to appreciate you. We're going to have him for the full podcast. Something new, a new location.
That's awesome.
A new member.
Full-time member?
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, we'll see how he does.
I mean, he's got a few gigs right now, but if you want to quit and join the crew,
multiple jobs.
could be cool.
Cut the check.
Cut the check.
See what happens.
So, David and I met through the NFL LCC.
Yep.
It was great meeting you. You're from Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went to my town. I'm in your town. We're in each other's towns. You went from one city to a better city. It's glad to have you back. Glad to overlap in Kansas City. You are the content producer for the Cavs.
Yep.
With our boy Jimmy Longo. We
Yep.
got to get him on
Shout
the
out
pod as
Jimmy.
well.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all love Jimmy.
We all love Jimmy.
Jimmy's a legend.
He's the man.
You are the creative director for Through the Lens. I'm excited to talk about that. And then, like I said, NFL LCC.
Yep.
Am I missing anything else?
No, that's mostly it. A few titles.
A few titles. It's more than we got.
We make it work, though. And now podcaster
Podcast.
with you guys.
Co-host. Reoccurring guest.
Tri-host.
Maybe.
Tri-host.
Try-host.
Tri-host. Yeah, I guess that would be the terminology.
Should we explain why I know we said it last time, but we're here to cover the Big 12 basketball championship.
Yeah.
Excited.
We're excited
A
about
lot
it.
of games.
Just a couple Big Ten guys covering the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, just +2.
It's a great great conference.
We're math guys. We're Big 10 guys. Now we're Big 12 guys. So
There you go.
we got credentials. Follow us at Still Eligible. Clearly, that's our username.
Follow the Big 12 conference as well,
Yes.
at Big 12 Conference.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
I'm
They're going to be
excited to see
posting
you
some of
guys
our stuff.
Shoot basketball.
Well, yeah, well, we need some guidance
Yeah.
from you. We need some guidance from you. Pat, I don't know when the last time you shot basketball was.
It's been a while. It was at Michigan, clearly. I can't remember the last game I shot, but it was Juwan's first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm going to be a little rusty. So
Yeah.
any tips?
all right.
Any tips or tricks?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. My last time shooting basketball, I was on the catwalk. So we're not going to be on the catwalk. So I probably need to figure out how to shoot from more of a level standpoint. But
Yep. Do you guys
Cool.
have baseline access? Do you know where you guys
I don't
are shooting
think so.
I
from?
don't think so.
But I told Sandra on the way over here, like every time I work a sporting event, you have to get yelled at. If you don't get
Oh, yeah.
yelled at for being in the
1000%,
wrong spot,
100%.
you're not trying.
Yeah.
Every time I'm in a new arena,
Oh yeah.
somebody.
No, just like you act
Yeah.
like you're supposed to be here.
Yep.
Well, you are supposed to be there, but you push the boundaries.
If you didn't get yelled at, you weren't trying hard enough.
Exactly.
So
It's a good rule of thumb.
There we go.
pretty good trip so far. We're not great at packing for trips.
No.
It's,
Well, you might be. All right. Well, you haven't traveled this year, have
Yeah.
you?
Not with the team. No.
You
Just
did
'cause of
last year,
COVID
right?
Protocol. Yeah.
Do you have any packing tips?
Yeah.
Tips and tricks?
In addition to video tips, we need to work
We are
on.
horrible packers. I know I stayed up late before we left, and then I woke up early because I packed. I think we both did this, and I don't know
Yeah.
about Sandra. We packed like 60% of our bag, and then it was like, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, then you go to bed, and then you like wake up in the middle of the night to do it, and then you don't get enough done, and then it's like a mad rush to get out.
Yeah.
So.
The number one thing is I try to unpack right when I get there.
Yeah.
And unpack right when I get home. Because what'll happen is you leave the bag packed. And
Yeah.
my bag's currently still packed at where I'm staying right now. But it's literally once you get home, you unpack it. Otherwise, it'll stay in there
Yep.
until the next time you leave,
Yeah.
which is probably
And
3 or 4
it's all
days. from then,
wrinkled.
right?
You don't have the steamer on the road.
It gets worse. That's some real practical advice.
Well, there we go.
Well, you've got discipline that we clearly do not have, so we got to work on.
No, we were on the way to the airport, and I was like, I don't know what I packed.
Yeah.
I know that I packed my toiletry kit and enough underwear to get me through
That's
the
why
week.
they gave you guys shirts.
Yeah,
'Cause you were
chicken
out.
and pickle.
it. They know that our wardrobes are limited to Still Eligible in Michigan and Ohio State. Gear,
They're on
so.
brand. They're black
They're
and
great.
white. A
There you
little
go.
red in there.
I love this shirt. This just became like the number one shirt in my wardrobe. So
There we go.
Need some Big 12 gear now.
We do need Big 12 gear. We'll make that happen.
We'll work
We'll
on
talk to our guy. So
There you go.
there we go.
it. So I just want to give a shout out here. This room is amazing.
Beautiful room.
Awesome room. Shout out to Kip and Abby Marshall from the Marshall Made Company. They designed and branded the room. They've been working with Chicken and Pickle. They've created unique spaces like their holiday pop-up bar, Snowbound. Wish we could have gone to that. Would have been electric.
We know a thing or two about snow.
We do. Kip and Abby, they installed the trophy room also at the San Antonio, Wichita, and North Kansas City location. So it looks amazing. It also keeps our streak alive we've recorded every episode
In front of lockers.
in front of some lockers. So
Do you
Lockers
request
is
that?
Sweet. Yeah,
No,
that
but
was
it
our
worked
one
out.
demand. We're
Yeah.
like, listen,
everywhere we
you can
go.
feed us all day, but if there's not lockers behind us, we're not coming.
We're out.
yeah.
So they're like, all right, we'll get
So
you
just-
lockers.
Just heads up for people when we travel, we're going to need
We need lockers.
so.
We've got lockers. There's streamers. There's a big trophy. We're going to get an Instagram picture in front of. Basketballs hanging, pop shot, whole 9 yards. There's a bunch of stuff here. This place is sweet.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
I said the whole 9 yards. There we go. I don't think I did it last podcast.
For everyone playing the Still Eligible podcast bingo game,
Bingo.
we're off to a great start.
Oh.
So we should just kind of get into this next segment. So, David, we have a segment where we use Jack's catchphrase, and we pick a few people and topics who did some cool stuff and let them know that we appreciate them. So we're going to do the first two, and then you can go last. Does that sound good?
Cool.
If
Do
you
it.
can hang.
If
No
you
one
can
said it
hang.
was easy.
Try host right here.
David,
So
that is your real name.
my first one is Bryson DeChambeau. He won the Arnold Palmer Invitational at 11 under. He beat Lee Westwood by 1 stroke. That's cool, but the 370 and 377-yard drive he hit on hole number 6.
Yeah,
With
that
the
ain't bad.
celebration,
Yep.
Lee Westwood mimicking the celebration after was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the 377-yard drive was 50 yards longer than the previous long drive of Sunday. Wow. A lot of protein.
So
for
rocket.
Bryson.
Yeah. I like to golf, but 50 yards is pretty much a good drive for me.
Yeah, we got to play soon.
Yeah,
As
we
long as
do.
it goes straight.
Yeah,
That's
no,
limit.
straight is key.
Straight's key. He can hit it straight and long. So, Bryson, appreciate you. Also, just got to mention, kind of crazy. Did you hear him thank all of his sponsors immediately after winning?
Yeah, I did.
Smart.
Yeah.
I could never imagine doing that.
Yeah.
This is really scripted right now. But it's perfect time to do a live read. We are here at Chicken and Pickle, who is hosting us today. This place is beautiful. I mean, indoor, outdoor, they got a little cornhole. You call it cornhole or bags?
Cornhole.
Cornhole.
Yep.
Like I said, they got this place set up for March Madness. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to play some pickleball later. I don't know what the teams are. We got to figure that out.
2-on-2. We
The
gotta
pro is
split it
going to teach us how to play. His name's Jack, so you got to love him. Yeah, I don't know. So they got a bunch of different locations. Kansas City, Wichita, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and they're opening two new locations in Grand Prairie, Texas, and Overland Park, Kansas. So those are opening later this year. We're going to be regulars at the one at Grand Prairie.
We're going to hang out.
Yeah, it's close to where we reside, and the food's amazing here. So
Yep. And they
food's
got
amazing.
lockers.
And they got
We
lockers.
got lockers.
The food
Last
is
time I
amazing.
checked.
It's great food, great ambiance.
Great food,
We
great
love it.
hospitality,
Yeah.
ambience,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. Twice.
Twice.
I made up for last podcast.
Wow. So,
So-
yes. Thank you, Chicken and Pickle. We absolutely love it here.
We do.
And Bryson, I think I told you this already, but appreciate you.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
All right, David, you heard Pat. Now you're going to see how it's actually done.
I'm ready.
Wow.
So my appreciate you this week is to Michigan State. Pat, you know where I'm going with this?
I think I do, and I don't like it.
Yeah. So Michigan State beat the team up north the other day in some hoops.
Saw that.
They're having not their best year when it comes to basketball, and they only had 2 wins in football this past year. So not up to Michigan State standards by any means.
Tom Izzo has a certain standard.
Yeah, it's excellence.
Yeah.
But the common denominator between football and basketball is they beat the team up north both in
Wow.
both sports. And like I said, 2 wins in football. So you do the math.
Yeah.
That's half their wins.
Good in basketball, though. For
Good in
us.
basketball.
Yeah.
Well, no, you guys are.
Yeah. Not that game that you're talking about, but
I think,
yes.
you won the game before, but it's not about that.
No.
Howard might be coach of the year.
Yeah.
So that being said, Michigan State, appreciate you. Boom.
All right. So you think you can do one?
That's brutal. Yeah, I think I got it.
It's not that easy.
Pressure's on.
Yeah.
I got a couple threats from Jack earlier. Those are subtle threats, but I picked them up. Mine goes out to my break because of what I do. So going on NBA All-Star Weekend, my appreciation is actually to the coaches and fans that didn't vote Colin Sexton
Oh,
into the
wow.
All-Star weekend, because even though he's my guy, and
That's amazing.
I did all of his promotion work and really wanted him to, make it. He just didn't make the cut. So because of that, I get to hang out with you guys and not go down to Atlanta and get tested 45 times.
Yeah.
And
Some would
shoved up my
argue
nose.
are cooler than Colin Sexton and
Yeah.
all the NBA All-Stars.
Obviously, yeah.
Not many people.
Not
But
many. I don't know how that argument would
Probably
hold up.
three.
Yeah.
3, maybe 4.
There's an argument to be made. I don't know if you can win that argument.
no,
but yeah.
well, it's an argument nonetheless.
But to the media that continues to not hype up Colin Sexton, and the continuous amount of fans that refuse to just recognize any Cavalier player at all, appreciate you.
Nailed it. Might
Wow.
be the best one of
Seriously,
any
he
episode.
nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. That was for you.
Well, I think we need to take a break because
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
We'll hop right back into it. We got our guy David Sosna in the house here at Chicken and Pickle, Kansas City. We can see the skyline in the background. It's a beautiful spot. We appreciate them having us. We'll be right back. And we are back here at Chicken and Pickle with David Sosna, lost in the sauce. We are back. As I mentioned before, content producer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, creative director for Through the Lens and an NFL LCC. He does it all. Follow him on Instagram and TikTok at David_Sosna, SOSNA. It actually sounded pretty cool to say like that. I don't know
I
why.
appreciate. Yeah, that was good.
SOSNA.
Yeah.
I should be your hype man. Real quick before we get into it, why don't you have a Twitter? I'm passionate about that. Everyone needs to have a Twitter.
This is an ongoing discussion amongst everybody that follows me. It was one of those things where you got out of it early college,
Yeah.
and then you look back at all of your high school tweets and you're just ashamed of yourself. You just really
Yeah.
can't stand it, you know? And so I look back at all of that and I'm like, okay, well, I just need to find a way to wipe all of this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. So I was like, I'm going to start a new account.
Yeah.
Just haven't done it yet.
Well, you
So,
need to do it.
I need some encouragement.
You need to do it. Everyone needs to have a
Okay.
Twitter.
Jack's a huge Twitter guy, so he wants another person to follow.
That works.
Well, I mean, I don't even need to follow. I think that every single person needs to have a Twitter. Whether, like I said this before, whether it's a burner or whatever, you need to have a Twitter. Follow what you're passionate about. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
My high school Twitter was not great. My username was JJ Mac Money, and so that speaks for itself.
As far as bad high school names go,
That's
That's up there.
it's at the top of the list.
it's
honestly.
elite. It's elite bad name.
So my inactive Twitter was Team DSAWS 80.
We need to bring that back.
Yeah,
You
you
need to
know,
make merch and
you know,
everything.
yeah, just bring that back.
Yeah.
That's my new brand.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you having you on. Appreciate you. So like I said, we met through the NFL LCC, but I've heard your story multiple times. We talked about it. You got me all set up with the NFL. I joined like midway through the season. You showed me the ropes, how to run First Energy Stadium, one of the most beautiful stadiums in all of sports. Go Browns. But I think that you have one of the coolest stories
Yeah.
of getting into the SMS content creator sports world.
Mm-hmm.
You just wake up one day. You kind of ease your way into it. I mean, tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
how you ended up where you are today.
So right after I graduated, I graduated from Arkansas, and my degree's in kinesiology. So not anything in the creative world. I was planning on doing like athletic training or, possibly grad school, but I really got into the nonprofit space.
Yeah.
And so I traveled the country and I was doing public speaking with this nonprofit, and I did that for about like 8 months, give or take. And I got to talk to thousands of students during that time, a lot of public speaking experience. It was great, but it just wasn't for me. It didn't work out. So I ended up coming back to Kansas City, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And I picked up some random odd jobs. I had a buddy that was a photographer, and he's like, dude, what's a skill you want to learn? And I have no idea what made me say this, but I was like, well, you're doing photos, so like obviously I'm going to do video. And
Yin and the yang.
little did I know that sentence would start the trajectory of where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And that was about 3 years ago, April. So next month would be 3 years since I got my camera. I quit my job. I bought my A7 III 24-70 G Master, and I was like, screw it, let's do this. And at that point
All in.
on, I was a freelance creator. I had no idea what that meant, and I had no idea how to work my camera. And so during that time, YouTube was my best friend, but I made a promise I would use my camera every day for 90 days. And I would like run outside. I would just shoot random photos. Like, it was all just trying to learn it, but I loved what I was doing. And so got with some YouTubers for a little bit, learned a lot from them. And then I got around the creative community in Kansas City, which is an incredible creative community. Yeah. And just started learning from guys that were steps ahead of me. And so I did that. And then by the end of that 90 days, I had to keep shooting because I had clients at that point. Because,
Not a bad deal.
I just had learned and gotten to the point where
that's so quick, but also like, but also if you're doing it every day and like making it your life, I look at
cameras, and I mean, we can talk about this, but like, you got to finish your story first of all. But like, cameras and like editing, all that, like, I like it as like a video game, right? Where if you want to be the best gamer, you just log some hours. You research whatever, you know what you're doing. So
yeah, and that's the encouragement that I give to a lot of guys. They're like, how do I get to where you're at, or how do I do this? And it's like, if you're not creating videos because you just love to create videos, like,
you're off to a bad start.
You're not gonna keep doing it long term, And so it was a lot of late nights. It was a lot of just passion projects and just creating stuff. But how I got into the sports world specifically was after about 6 months of shooting. This was rounding out to the next year. I got with a guy named Luke Cooper, who's a high-level NBA basketball trainer from Kansas City, and he's also my business partner now with Through the Lens. And so anyways, Luke had a 4th grade basketball camp that he was putting on. It was like grade school kids, whatever. And he's like, hey, can you come shoot this? And I was like, I've never shot sports before, but,
But I studied kinesiology, so I know how the body moves.
So we can make it happen. So I think I got paid like $100 to shoot, like nothing. But I was like, let's do it. And so it was like a bi-weekly thing, went a couple times, didn't think anything of it, got my money. And then a couple weeks later, he called me again, said, hey, my roommate in L.A., his name's Alex Bazell, another high-level NBA trainer. Yep. He's looking for a content guy for the summer out in LA. Like, would you be interested? And I was like, yes, let's, I still had no idea how to shoot basketball. And at this point, I was just learning how to do photos in general. Like, I was shooting street photography. Like, I really wasn't a great photographer at this point. So it was like, okay, let's go. And I think I left like a week or two later out to LA. And I didn't know how long I was going to be there. I thought it was going to be a couple weeks, maybe a month. I ended up being out there all summer. But the first guy that I walked in to shoot that day was Kevin Porter Jr., who, if anybody knows KP, he ended up getting drafted by the Cavs later on. But through that summer, I was just like, all right, I got to learn this. And in 3 months, I created about 450 videos for Alex. Wow. Upped his brand he was at 30K the month that I got there. And he got to, I think he was at 68 when I left that summer. And now he's at, I think, like 80 or something. But it was just, I was in the NBA world now. And so it was like Candace Parker, Trae Young. And then by the end of the summer, it was Kyrie, Carmelo, and I got to spend time with Kobe. And so it's just like, I was the only guy that really got to shoot photos of Kobe, in a private, practice setting with his daughter's team and everything. And so
that's unreal.
It was just like, it was such a whirlwind, and, we were traveling all the time, doing a lot. But then by the end of it, the Cavs draft Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah. All my content is living on his page because I was with him all summer.
Love that.
And then the Cavs are now looking to hire, shout out to Javon Shell and Grant Gilbert. They were looking to hire on content guys for the Cavs. They wanted to just up their content game. They wanted guys that could do photo and video. And I got a call, and I took probably 2 weeks of like the most stressed out trying to figure out what I wanted to do and if I wanted to take it, if I wanted to move to Cleveland, all this stuff.
Why would you not want to move to Cleveland?
Right, the Joakim Noah treatment.
No, don't go there. Keep going. You were doing all right.
No, but so I said yes, and 2 days later I packed up, I moved, and the day after I got there at like 9 p.m. that night, and I remember getting in the Uber, and I'd never even seen a photo of downtown Cleveland before. I had no idea what I was about to expect. And I remember going over the hill in the Uber, and I was just like, okay, this is my city now,
Oh and on the lake, baby.
Right. And it was already cold at that point. It was like right before the season started. Training camp started the next day, and I got thrown into the fire. They're like, here you go. Here's training camp. Here's everybody. Here's the players. Let's go. And the documentary that we made that first week that I was there, we ended up winning an Emmy on. Mm-hmm. And so the validation factor was like, okay, you know, this is where I'm supposed to be. So
Casual Emmy Award winner.
First piece. No,
so
no
the
big
first
deal.
time that I
I
shot
won class
basketball,
clown in high school.
there you go.
Get on my level.
But yeah, the first time that I shot basketball to getting the job in the NBA was about 7 months. First
Same.
time I shot. So
Same.
it's crazy, man.
I got a question kind of based on the so you started with the filming the youth basketball camps. First of all, could any of the fourth graders dunk?
None.
Okay,
0.
good to know.
Yeah.
You went from filming youth basketball camps to working in the NBA. So my question is the goal to keep filming older and older people until you're working for a retired men's league?
Oh, hey, that's nice. You know, I think that there's a lot of talent that's hidden up there.
Yeah.
You know, some in the 50s, 60s.
Mhm.
So you know, I see that as a possibility.
Yeah.
Especially if you come with me,
Mhm.
I'm down.
There we go.
And
we just
we
got
got
some
beer
old.
now.
We just
I am
got some
very old.
beers. This is a Sosna
That's awesome.
suggestion.
Yep.
Cheers.
I can cheers you.
Cheers.
Stands
Thanks
out.
for coming on.
There we go.
For Pat. What we got here?
Boulevard wheat.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Isn't that incredible?
I love that. I love that. All right, so through the lens, I want to talk about through the lens, but I also like tie this into the pitch me through the lens, but also talk about the Cavs as well. I think
Yeah.
one of the coolest things is your relationship with these players,
Mm-hmm.
and I think one thing that like, we're obviously college focused and whatnot, but like one thing that's coming around is NIL and building brands and whatever. And I know obviously you take those photos and videos and send them to the guys post game, and then like I know you do some work with them outside of the game, whether it's a charity event or I don't know. I know you guys like went to Sexton's house and did like some TikToks and whatever. But talk about those relationships and building those relationships outside of the arena, and then through the lens is sweet. So I don't know how you want to approach that, but I'm gonna drink this beer.
So there's a couple things you have to navigate with getting in with the players, right? Like you have the Cavs PR team. Every team has their PR people, and so they're always just kind of like iffy. You know, can we trust this guy? Will this guy put out something that we don't want out there? The player, you know, so you got to break that barrier first with like PR and just being around the team more and getting comfortable. But the guys, you know, the way I think about it is like, man, there's 4 guys on our team that are like literally 21 or younger, right? Yeah. And so these guys are kids. Yeah. And so the easiest way to relate to them is like treat them like they're college dudes, you know, which is our age, and we're just like, hey, you know, like
everybody
whatever.
loves a photo guy too,
right?
And
And
make
so
them look cool. They love it.
I provide value to them, right? And so it's like it's a really easy relationship to have, but it's also a massive part of being a creator in the NBA world or off-season world is like you got to be able to hang, for lack of better terms, because if you get starstruck and you freak out, like the only guy I felt that way with, and that's not to be like a flex on me, but like Kobe's like Kobe, you know?
I mean,
so you just lose your mind. But outside of that, like these guys are kids, you know, they're just, you know, playing a sport that they love, and they're just trying to, you know, do the best they can a lot of the time. So building relationships with them is fun. It's a fun aspect of the job. And, you
there's
know,
worse things than hanging out with them, I would imagine.
yeah, no.
You're hanging out with us right now.
There's levels to it, but it's good. No, but yeah, that aspect of it comes easy. It's just kind of, you know, you can't treat them any differently. A lot of guys get really intimidated, but they're just normal dudes. And with Through the Lens, that's an aspect where I gotten really close with a lot of guys. And so Carmelo Anthony is our co-founder of Through the Lens. Through the Lens is a basically basketball teaching program, right? Similar to, think of Masterclass, right? But for basketball specifically. And so you're learning directly from the pros in episodes. And when we started that was also something where we had no idea what we were doing, right? Yeah. We were like, let's figure this out. And we ended up creating 10 to 15 episodes, give or take, of each athlete, both interview, film, and also on-court teaching. And so you can literally learn Carmelo Anthony's like literally all the tricks to his game, right, through what Through the Lens is. And so it was an incredible process of just like developing it, learning, you know, what sells, how to sell a subscription type model, you know, and adding value to something. So that's Through the Lens, and I'm creative director of that, which is basically I just handle all the big productions and just make sure it all goes well. I do the interviews, all that stuff. And that's something when you're in business with these guys, now you got to really build that relationship, because now their money's on the line. And, you know, that's a lot more pressure on my end. But, yeah, along with, like, off-season or off-court stuff, like Jetty Osmond hit me up 2 days ago.
Legend.
and he's got a deal with Head and Shoulders Turkey.
Okay.
And I got an email from his guy today, and it's like, yeah, he needs like lifestyle photos of this new product. And I'm like, am I gonna hop in the shower with Teddy Austin? like, what are we? What kind of photo shoot is this? But we're gonna make it happen. But they come to us for that because one, they can trust us. They see our work, they trust our work, and it goes from there. But
yeah, we're all about sponsorships on Still Out.
We are.
Head and Shoulders.
Can you talk a little bit more about just like a typical game day or like what you do for the Cavs, like just what that looks like from beginning to end?
Yeah. So we'll get to the arena. Usually I'm like prepping, make sure all my stuff's charged, get prepped. And then we'll usually get to the arena, let's say tip-off's at 7. I'll get there at 4. And from 4 o'clock on, you're just waiting for walk-ins. And, the league fits is a massive thing. You
gotta love the fits.
And I'm not saying this to bash our guys, but I don't know if it's COVID or what, but nobody's done any sort of drip on our team at all. Last year we had Jordan Clarkson, Tristan, and Kevin Love.
Yeah.
So that's like top of the league fits world. Now, like, Colin and Darius walk in the hoodie every single day.
Give me something, guys.
And, like, Jared Allen's, like, one of the nerdiest but, like, most awesome, incredibly nice dudes. But the dude's just in a just straight grout fit every day. And I'm like, that's his style. Do your thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
But do walk-ins and then, quickly, like, go through warm-ups, nothing crazy. Over the next couple hours, we'll eat, get ready for the game. And then when the game starts, we're on. And so me and Jimmy are on the court right now because of COVID. Normally we'd switch in and out with, our other guy, Courtney. But our process is we'll literally be shooting. I shoot every offensive play, and then I shoot photos, all the ins and outs of everything that's going on. Just more portrait-type stuff for me. And when we finish a play, I take my card out, throw it in my laptop. I'll switch my second card into the first slot, right? And this is getting really technical for the camera nerds out there.
Yeah,
but
I get what you're saying.
Throw it in there, and I have my Premiere already set up. I'm exporting and sending it in Slack, and that whole process, I've gotten it down to about 30 seconds. Jeez. But if another play comes back towards me during that time, my camera's ready. I hit record, I'm up, and so I
holstered.
You're ready to shoot. Yeah. And so I never miss a play offensively, and during that whole process, I'm exporting, getting everything set. But if there's no distractions, if we're in a timeout, I can turn around 2 or 3 plays during the minute and a half timeout. And then we're posting right away. We also have photos of that play, and so you're getting constant photo, video, everything. And Jimmy's got it down to such a science just on his phone.
Yeah.
He's literally got it on his phone.
That's all he goes. He brings a camera and a phone. That's right.
Camera and his phone. Doesn't bring a laptop, nothing else. And so it just shows the new wave of content that it's like we are getting the highest quality content out.
So efficient.
At the quickest rate possible. And that's what we focused on, and now we can get really creative with everything else that we're doing. So that's kind of our process throughout the game. And then after the game, if we win, then I'll stay up till probably the last game that we won. I made a mix for. I was up till about 6:30 in the morning. Turn that mix around, and you get all the top plays. And it's not just a highlight. Like, you want to tell a story. You want to make impact. And then, if it's a back-to-back, you're back out there, go into the office at 11, get ready to shoot at 4, run it back. So that's kind of our world.
I love that world. I was in it. Kind of still am.
Yeah, we're gonna get to be back into it at the tournament, so it'll be fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
So I already know your answer to this, but I think a lot of people answer this differently, and I think we're on the same wavelength of this. But what are your thoughts on sharing your content on your personal page? I think it took me a while to get into. Yeah. My first year at Ohio State, I didn't really share much. I don't know if it was because I didn't think I was the best or whatever it was, or maybe it was like I'm not trying to flex. This is just my job, and I love what I do. Yeah. But if there's someone at this table who has a cleaner Instagram feed than me, which I take pride in, it would probably be you.
It ain't me.
That's fair. I would say, so your question's more of like just a thought towards posting your work.
Thoughts towards posting.
For me, like, I don't have a reel and I don't have a website.
And you don't have a Twitter.
And I don't have a Twitter, which is strike 3 at that point, right? No, but like how I got every job that I have is from Instagram. It's literally from my IG, and it's because I'm consistent with it and because like I want to post it. I enjoy my work and I want it to get out there, and it's something to where it's just a part of my day now. It's like, okay, I take care of all my brands. I take care of Through the Lens. I take care of this, that. Okay, now I have my time on my brand, and I just get to put something out that I enjoy. And all my connections, my network, everything is built through Instagram.
Yeah.
And, Clubhouse is now being a part of that to bring people to my Instagram and so on and so forth.
Big
But
Clubhouse guy.
as of recently, it's been fun, man. But the main aspect is like, I encourage every young creative, like, just be posting. Because nothing's going to happen if you don't. But you never know what could. And
How many jobs you can find along the way, whatever it may be.
yeah, exactly. And like, content is valuable 6 months from now. That's what people don't get, is like, people want to come to your page and see that you've been doing this for a while. And if they just see one really cool post, they'll be like, that's awesome. But there's only one of them. There's only 5 of them. Like, they want to see, oh shit, this guy's been doing this for, 6, 7 months, a year, however long. So that's my encouragement. Like, post, don't care about the likes. Like, that's a part of it. But man, just get your work out there.
Absolutely.
It's hard to not care about. There was a brief time, what was it, last week, when Instagram took away the likes, and then they got them back, and we were
Pack in sleep.
that was tough. I experienced the whole range of emotions, so I'm glad. But I'm glad to have him back.
Yeah.
I know you did work for the NFL, obviously. What's the biggest difference between shooting an NBA game and an NFL game?
It's a different sport.
Yeah.
Biggest difference. Yeah, it's not basketball.
Different ball.
The biggest thing, I think, would be just the fact that you have to run to both sides of the end zone. Like,
It was a mess.
And
this year we couldn't even be on the field, so we were
Right.
running through the concourse.
yeah, so that's an unsaid thing that people don't think about. It's like, okay, turnover. Oh crap! I gotta run to the other end zone by the time that they like get on the field. Like, that process sucks, especially.
And it's for those of you thinking a 100-yard dash. It's not a 100-yard dash this year. We were going up the stands, through the concourse, all the way around, back down.
Yeah.
And they're just doing a quick little TV
Good
timeout.
cardio.
Oh, great cardio.
Tons of it.
And in Cleveland, the weather was atrocious all year for
Oh
us.
my God, it was so bad, literally the whole year. And it was hilarious because Jimmy, his vest was number 69, and he's running through the stands of Cleveland fans who are all just hammered out of their minds, right? And literally every time, and we would be on the same sideline most of the time, and every time we walk, hey, 69, give me a photo, and everybody's just screaming at him. I'm like, you add that input into like, hey, I'm trying to focus on the
we're here to
game.
do our job.
I'm trying to do this, So it's just a outdoor environment, dealing with weather. Like, my camera got just
destroyed. The Raiders game was
from it.
brutal.
Yeah. But
I got the same thing, too. Like,
Yeah.
I was running opposite side, and people are yelling at me like, you haven't taken a photo of us all game. What is your job? I was like, my job is not to take pictures of the drunk man in the 6th row. It's to take a video of Derek Carr throwing a touchdown pass.
Yep, exactly. So lots of different factors, but that would be probably the biggest.
Let's take a break. We got a few more questions for you, and then we'll also leave you with this. Sound good?
I'll leave you with this.
All right. Quick break. We'll be right back.
We are back here at Chicken and Pickle with the sauce man himself, David Sosna.
The sauce man.
The sauce man. I just
a
came
new
up with
one.
that nickname on the fly.
You're gonna have a lot of new brands and nicknames after this podcast.
I feel well equipped
Yeah.
at this point.
So, final question we've been asking our guests: if you could go to one sporting event as a fan, what would it be?
Yeah, and I wish I could shoot it as well, but
You have to go as a fan. You can't bring
Go as a
bring your
fan.
camera.
You can drink beer, though.
I can
That's the
drink
win.
beer. I can have some Boulevard Wheat while I'm there. The main thing, I would say like a Game 7 of an NBA Finals because, man, the basketball world, it is my life now. Like literally the NBA is my life. I'm always plugged into it. I'm always watching it. I'm always, and I feel like I watch games closer than anybody else when I'm in the lens. Like I remember every play just through that aspect of it. And so if I got to go, hey, no pressure to shoot, no pressure to anything, you get to just go enjoy a historic event. Because every Game 7 of an NBA final, like those plays live forever, right?
yeah.
And that's like my main goal as a creator. Like I want to capture the things that are going to live forever. That 20 years, ahead, they're going to look back and be like, oh, that's the play, and I got that angle of it. So just to see those plays happen live in person, I got to go with, like a Game 7, pressure's on, everything else.
I love that. And now is also a good time to remind all of our listeners that the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. Go Cavs.
That was not planned.
No, I love that. No, that's a great answer. That's a great answer coming from you. We got one more thing. We do this. It's called I'll Leave You With This.
Okay.
We tell a story. We tell a cool story. I feel like we have lived some pretty cool lives. We have a pretty cool job, pretty cool gigs. You're obviously hanging out in the NBA with a couple superstars. Through the lens, NFL, CC.
Yeah.
You've got to have one cool story, I would hope, along the way.
At least.
Yeah, I think I've got a couple. One that stands out, and this is just something to where, like I was saying earlier, like that human side of the guys, where you literally put these guys up on mantles. And so, like, with the Cavs, like, the big name is Kevin Love, right? And you just kind of, especially with all of his, like, humanitarian work and everything else, this guy that's just up there, in perspective. But
Absolutely.
This pre-COVID, but after one of the games we won, and we went out to a spot in Cleveland, and we just had this whole, like, booth area to ourselves. There's, like, 3 or 4 of the guys that are there, a couple of the assistant coaches. We're all just kind of hanging out. And, we got there probably around midnight, right after the game.
Yeah.
And I just had a whole day, 9 a.m., shot the game. I'm exhausted at this point. I'm ready to go home by, like, 12 or 1 or so. And, everybody's drinking, everybody's hanging out, everybody's having a good time. And then the bar closes, and we stay because we know the owner. And so we just stay there, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, I'll stay for a little bit longer, whatever. And he pulls out cigars, and, like, I'm a big cigar guy.
Love cigars.
And the only other guy that was smoking a cigar was Kevin Love. And so
It's good company.
it was just not that company to smoke a cigar with. So then all of a sudden, like, and Kevin and I are, like, friends. I can text him, whatever, but at this point we weren't
Text him
super
right now.
close.
Tell him I said hello.
I'll give him a call. But yeah, we weren't super close at this point, but we're sitting there, and he's very interested in cameras. We saw Jimmy Longo's photo of him at the Sixers game.
Yeah.
Like, he's super into cinema as well. Like, I always see him watching movies, and him and I sat there, ripped through probably 4 or 5 just giant stogies. And when I looked up, like, we were just going, and I was like,
You're hurting the next day.
I felt terrible the next day. But by the end of it, like, I wasn't gonna stop while Kevin's still smoking.
No.
And
Huffing and puffing.
I looked up, and it was 5:30 in the morning, and we spent the past 4 hours talking about movies. We just literally talked about cinema and, like, favorite movies and which directors and which actors and, like, just how this was
Kevin
shot.
loves him some movies.
He literally just. He's the biggest movie nerd like that. That's a horrible line.
I need to get rid of it.
But yeah, and so it's like that's more the human experience with it, and, like, the dude's the biggest movie nerd ever, like, more so than me, which is hard to beat. But yeah, and then 5:30 came around, and it's like, I should probably go home. The sun's up, but I just had an amazing conversation with Kev. So that's one of the cooler stories that I'll get to carry on with.
That's pretty sweet.
It was fun.
I'll give you that. You won this round.
Yeah.
Patton,
We'll see next time.
Yeah. So just we recap usually, so we'll do that right now.
Cool.
I don't know why I said that, but I did. David, we appreciate you being on. Obviously, you got to give appreciate you, which was great. Shout out Bryson. I'm not gonna say shout out Michigan State, but that's what Jack did. And NBA All-Star Weekend and the lack of voting for Cavaliers players allowed this to happen. Great interview. We really loved having you on, and
this is where I cut Pat off.
Yes,
cutting him off. David, absolute blast having you here. Your city. We wanted to get you on, and it turns out we could just have you in person.
Worked out perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Follow him on social at David Sosna, SOSNA. See, I can still do that.
That's
pretty
great.
sweet. We'll be around. We got the Big 12 tournament this week. Follow along on social. Follow David on social. Follow me on social. Follow Sandra on social. And if you really want to, you can follow Pat on social.
Thank you so much for adding that last part.
We are still eligible. We're going to go play some pickleball.
Yeah.
We're going to put that out on social sometime, somewhere, somehow, some way. We're going to Pickleball Pro, Jack. Great name. I'm sure he's better than all of us.
We should probably play against
See
each
what
other,
happens.
by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack's versus. Or do you want Jack and David? We'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
Follow on social to figure it out.
Yeah.
Until next time, go Bucks.
Go Blue.
Go Cavs.